shocking report of sexual abuse in Southern Baptist Church rocks nation. So recently, an investigation revealed that several top members of the Southern Baptist Church or Southern Baptist Convention were found to have minimized, ignored, and even vilified sexual abuse survivors who came forward for help. This bombshell report has significant implications as the SBC is the largest denomination of Protestants in the United States. The 7-month investigative report states that the abuse survivors' emails and phone calls were, quote, only to be met time and time again with resistance, stonewalling, and even outright hostility by church leaders. Further evidence emerged from this investigation that detailed specific abuse cases and shed light on how denominational leaders actively resisted calls for abuse prevention for decades. The nearly 300-page report shows that SBC members were informed that compiling a database of offenders goes against the denomination's policies. However, the SBC leaders secretly kept a sex offenders list, which dated back to the 1960s, while keeping it classified to avoid possible litigation. After being exposed in public, SBC administrative leaders said that they would make the secret list public, revealing hundreds of church personnel and pastors accused as sex offenders. Many survivors who had been working for decades to hold the institution accountable feel that this report is, quote, just the tip of the iceberg. So this is a very big news story that happened. And this is a very big deal because, like I said, the SBC is the largest Protestant denomination in the United States. They have right now somewhere between 13 to 15 million members. Although it's important to note that over the past decade, their membership has steeply declined and it's continuing to go into decline. And, you know, people might say, oh, shocking, like, you know, this kind of abuse happening in a church. But this is a bit different because this isn't the Catholic Church. This is not a hierarchical institution in the same way the Catholic Church is. It operates very differently. It has more of a democratic structure than the Catholic Church does. So you would think that this might allow for there to be better instances of, or maybe better mechanisms for addressing these problems. But interestingly enough, this different form of hierarchy actually enabled it in a very different way. Because when people would go to the executive committee of the Southern Baptist Convention, or if they would go to you know, the higher, like the next level within their region or their state, etc. The bodies within the Southern Baptist Convention that had the more authority to address these problems said, oh, well, we can't do that because then we're violating our policies on local church autonomy. Because, like I said, they don't have the same level of control. It's more democratic. So they're saying, oh, well, then we can't actually do that because then we'd be violating their ability to operate on their own. So they used this to try to protect like the central aspect of the institution. And people have fought for a really, really long time for this to come out. This story is literally decades in the making. I've seen, because I follow a lot of religious news channels and stuff, I've seen the build up for this for a really long time, and we never talked about it because it was a little bit of minutia for you know, within the inner workings of this one particular denomination. But then this really holistic account dropped, and it's been huge news in the US, particularly because in the atheist community, so many people come from the Southern Baptist Convention denomination of Protestantism and evangelicism. So yeah, this is very, very important. Armin, your reaction.
Is there any arrests?
There have been individuals who have arrest histories. There are individuals who have sex offender histories, and then the churches would not inform each other as they were moved around the nation, even though people knew about it. Has there been new arrests because of this? Not that I'm aware of. Yeah. And one of the really big some people are saying the most damning part of this report is that the former president of the Southern Baptist Convention had credible accusations of sexual assault laid against him. And this investigative report went into detail investigating the former president of the SBC. And they said that they did not find any of his claims about that incident to be credible at all, which is very significant. So this was also occurring at the highest levels of this denomination.
Okay, well, this just came out, right? So it could lead to arrest. Oh, wait. Right? Like, potentially. Hopefully.
I don't know, because I don't know about the statute of limitations in various jurisdictions.
What if it doesn't lead to any arrest? Like, what the hell? Like, this is like a whole bunch of abuse, and they got unearthed, and it doesn't lead into. It should lead to arrest. Like, we want a lot of arrests. Like, this is like a lot of abuse. How could it not lead to arrest? I mean, if it doesn't lead to arrest, that means that there's something seriously wrong.
No, what's interesting is that there were people who were serial abusers. They would get arrested, they would serve their time, and then resume their pastoral work once they got out of jail.
Yeah, unbelievable.
So you're like, where are the arrests? I'm like, a lot of these people were continuously arrested, and they were continuously allowed to have access to a congregation, which also included children. Like,
I mean, is there not laws around that? Like, can't you, like, when somebody's has a history like that, aren't there laws that they can't have a job like that makes children exposed to them or whatever?
In a lot of situations, yes. But if people don't necessarily know about your history, they don't know to enforce that law on you.
Okay, well, now their page is out, so these people should not. I don't know. I don't understand.
No, I get it.
Wrong. There's something wrong with your country, Susie. Just accept it. There's something wrong. It's broken. Fix it. Wait, hold on. There's a good comment here.
Well, it's difficult because this is more of an internal structural thing of this organization, because a lot of these people did meet the consequences for their actions according to the law, but then they did not face the consequences for their actions within this organization.
Okay, well, an organization like that where it puts children at risk with people that they have the information they need, maybe to know that they have a history, then the organization as a whole needs to be shut down. Mm-hmm. Right?
Oh my God, the way that they would talk about victims was insane. There were emails from top leaders who literally said that people coming forward about what they experienced was satanic whispers that are distracting them from their duty of promoting discipleship.
Oh my God.
It's crazy. So there's a lot of really bad stuff in there like that, where it's beyond like discrediting them. It's to literally demonizing them.
They're saying, oh, wait. I misunderstood that. I thought you said like their urges to do these disgusting things, they call that satanic whispers.
No.
The people who are calling them out, they call that satanic whispers.
Not even people who are advocates calling them out. The victims.
The victims speaking and complaining, they call that satanic whispers.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Influenced by Satan to distract them from their true mission and their duty to build the discipleship of Christ.
So they abuse children. I thought that the voices that make
a lot of grown women too.
Okay.
I think that was directed towards an adult.
They abuse people, sexually abuse people. I thought they were like, oh, sorry, Satan made me do it. But this is actually even worse. They abuse people, and then when the people sexually abuse people, and then when the victims comes and like, hey, I would like to file a complaint because I was sexually abused, they refer to that complaint as satanic whispers who are distracting them from doing their job. Are these people like
literally demonizing victims?
Oh, there's never been more literal than this.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's horrible. And what's interesting is what you were saying, you know, with your outrage, you're saying, Susie, fix your country, blah, blah, blah. Because you clearly want to see consequences, right? And you want to see, you know, real, tangible actions that are being taken to prevent this from happening again. And what's interesting, you should say that because a lot of survivors are coming forward and they have the exact same sentiment as you, Armin. They're saying, okay, like this report exposing all this is good. We already knew this, but I want the public and I want just the ordinary congregant member to understand this. But there has been nothing expressed that actually shows here is our plan to change. This is what we're willing to do. This is how we're going to make sure that this happens as little as possible and how we are going to correct like the ways that we would actively cover up these instances. Because the problem is, and I thought this was really interesting, I read a lot of articles about this today, was that because the SPC has this kind of democratic structure, it means that a lot of decision making ultimately goes to lawyers that are on the payroll, and the lawyers are not answerable to the congregants. They're not answerable to like these delegates. They're answerable to the institution as a legal entity. So their motivation is to protect that legal entity from liability. And so all of the actions that people have been fighting for decades were being shot down by lawyers within the SBC who are saying, no, we can't have a database that tracks people within our denomination if they do this kind of crime to make sure that they don't just move to somewhere else on the other side of the country. We can't do that because that opens us up to liability. So we're just going to like look the other way. You know, so that kind of attitude led this to fester for decades.
I have two comments that we should read.
Forever Stormy is saying, even Satan is like, don't dump this on me, dude.
And here.
Oh. And Doorknob had, can I say? I can't say any of this, Armin.
Okay, never mind.
This is YouTube. These are all YouTube trigger words.
Okay, never mind. That's sorry. This was a good one.
Speaking of YouTube trigger words, please make sure to like this video, share this if you know people who are interested in this kind of thing, because YouTube really, really hates the SA word or SA phrase, and we said that about 1 million times in this segment, which is going to shoot down this whole stream in this segment like into deprioritized 9th circle of hell. So please like this video.
Hey, I like that phrase. We should use that, the deprioritized 9th circle of hell. That's good. I like it.
This is part of the problem with what we do at Atheist Republic, because these are really important stories to cover. There are a lot of people in our community who come from these backgrounds. They want to see these kinds of stories reflected in the content that they consume or in their community that they're a part of. And we talk about it, even though it's so controversial. It's really not controversial. It's just phrases and words that YouTube hates because they're bad for advertisers. And so we don't grow, even though we cover really important stuff. So that is my appeal to you as an audience. Please support our work. If you cannot afford to support our work via Patreon or PayPal, please just throw us a like. It's free and it takes less than a second.
Okay, you confused a lot of people. ABC is saying, what is SA phrase? And Sorgu is saying SA, question mark. And I don't know what this is. Doorknob has like SA word, question mark. Sarsa, what is this?
Sarsaparilla. Sarsaparilla. Oh,
I think SA is like sexual assault, right? No? Is that what that?
Well, why would you repeat it?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm Sorry. Okay.
Sexual abusadamente.
Yeah. Oh.
Hey guys, if you're a fan of blasphemy and sexy Callie, like me, then you need to be sure to subscribe to our newsletter, link in the description below. Because if you subscribe, we will send you a free copy of our blasphemous art ebook. And let me tell you, it is the tastiest blasphemy that you can find anywhere available today. And we are so generous with our blasphemy that we continue to send you more blasphemy every week. So make sure to subscribe, link in the description below.